The question is the House to now adjourn. I give the call to the member for Aston.
Thank you, Speaker. This Saturday, the voters of Dunkley have an important choice at the ballot box when voting in the by-election. This by-election is a choice between a strong local voice in government with Labor's candidate Jody Balliet or a candidate who will bring the Liberal Party no closer to meeting its own gender goals. For example, like recently pre-selecting Emmanuel Cicello for their candidate for Aston. Really? This guy has had failed runs for the federal seat of Holt in 2007, then Bruce in 2013 and the Victorian Upper House in 2018, as well as his aborted attempt to replace Mary Wooldridge in State Parliament in 2020. Forced to pull out of that race after it emerged, he was ineligible due to having pled guilty as a 19-year-old to an offence carrying a prison term of more than 5 years, having made an improper claim to a concession train fare. All this reported in The Australian a year ago in an article when Cicello was considering sticking his hand up as a candidate for the Aston by-election. In this article, it goes on to explain how Cicello's 2013 campaign was the highly controversial beneficiary of a fundraising dinner hosted by an alleged mafia figure. Yeah, to quote one senior Liberal who wanted to remain anonymous, and I can see why, "I'm not sure many would fare well with the scrutiny of a federal by-election. But a year on, all okay for a federal election? Yeah, nah." Those opposite can't even listen to their own party or their 2022 election report. They keep pre-selecting male candidates who lean further and further to the right. Why would they listen to their constituents then? They want to be part of a bitter opposition under an increasingly angry leader who, when he does offer something up to the parliament, usually just offers the word no. Divisive rhetoric and, in one of his previous roles as Health Minister, attacks on visiting GPs. Recently tabled in this House by the Minister for Home Affairs, the Honourable Claire O'Neill, there wasn't one, there weren't two, no, there were 3 reports into Australia's migration system. I'm only going to talk about one, as I would need at least an hour to take the House through, Speaker, and I only have 5 minutes. So I'll try and keep this short. I'll repeat to the House what the Minister said. Quote, "I want to talk about the report that Christine Nixon wrote into the exploitation in our migration system. In some ways, this is the most damning report into the Leader of the Opposition. For almost the whole time he's been in Parliament, his whole public persona has been puffing himself up as a big tough guy on the border. But what did the Nixon review find? It found that there were serious and systemic problems with exploitation in the migration system. It found that the system had been used to perpetrate some of the worst crimes that there are, sexual slavery and human trafficking, under the watch of the Leader of the Opposition, our so-called tough guy on the beat. She, Christine Nixon, found there was delay and dysfunction in the system. She also found something very interesting. For all the tough talk that we have heard over previous years from the Leader of the Opposition, he halved immigration compliance funding to the Department of Home Affairs." End quote. And getting back to this Saturday, I think that the good people of Dunkley deserve better than Peter Dutton and his candidates. They deserve a representative like Jody Balliet under the Albanese Labor government who will be an excellent advocate for her community. The late Peter Murphy MP and Jody shared a passion to make a difference. Peter supported Jody's work with local women doing it tough through the not-for-profit Women's Spirit project, which Jody founded. Jody's a Frankston local who lives with her husband Dave and their son Flynn, who goes to Frankston High School. Jody studied at Chisholm TAFE and taught for a short time at TAFE herself, as well as working at community organisations and government agencies. Fairness and hard work are Jody's core values. Jody Balliet would be a part of a team doing all we can to address cost of living pressures. It's a big choice for Dunkley this Saturday. The late, great Peter Murphy knew what Jody could bring to this place, and I really hope that we can welcome Jody Balliet to Canberra. Thank you, Speaker.
The question is the House to now adjourn. I give the call to the Honourable Brad.